Even if the power grid holds up, power outages across the state are possible because of the ice. If the ice weighs down those power lines and trees. So that's going to be the big concern as we get into the weekend with that heavy the weight of that ice on those power lines out there. So we do want to talk to Maria Ruiz. We're going to bring her in right now, talking about just how impactful this is going to be and explaining that freezing rain as it weighs down those power lines and just the problem that it could cause across the area, especially if it gets a little bit heavier than like we were anticipating in some locations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, here are the potential dangers of freezing rain. So we're talking about rain that looks really light whenever you're outside and you're kind of just witnessing it. But think about how this impacts whenever rain falls, freezing rain, it actually freezes on contact. So think about rain that's freezing on top of freezing rain on top of freezing rain. In fact, when we look at just the numbers, about a quarter inch of ice can actually add 250 pounds of weight to a power line. So that's where you start to get this sagging effect. And that's just a quarter inch. Now this can cause power lines to sag, and sometimes it could even cause some power lines to break, which is why this causes such a big concern when we're talking about power outages. And when we're looking at trees, it has the same effect. So you see this thin glaze on top of tree limbs. Well, the same amount of ice, a quarter inch, could increase the weight of branches by 15 times. If you remember any previous winter storms when we've had this freezing rain, you can see tree limbs that are significantly sagging. And this, unfortunately, if it's close to a power line, can also weigh down those power lines. This can cause tree limbs to break on top of these power lines, and that's what causes the issue. So it's not always technically with the grid. Sometimes it's the infrastructure itself, Mark, that we have to be closely watching, which is why it's so important to prep ahead of time to get some of these tree limbs out and away from power lines.